What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Static Therapy. I was looking at the video, right? This motherfucker is an hour and 6 minutes long. I might split it up in to the video being 30 minutes and another video being 30 minutes. So, or I might just do the whole thing in one. I'm not sure yet. But we will see. We will get to it. It depends on how interesting it is. Depends on what other conspiracy theorists say, and if I want to kind of rebuttal on them. We'll just kind of play it by hand, I guess. But we're gonna get into it and see what they say.
Where you see like leftists and conservatives coming together to demand accountability from the government.
And that's
now, I got a
good.
legal demand letter with my name on it a couple days ago saying that we were going to be sued for $1 billion by the First Lady if we didn't retract that and issue a formal apology.
The solidified structure that we're standing on is the Earth, and the Antarctic ice wall is around it.
So what's past the ice wall?
Other civilizations.
Oh, shit. Well, hey guys, what's up? This is Andrew Callahan from Channel 5. I'm here at Jube.
You know, and I kind of used to believe that other civilizations. So I mean, so here's the thing: we can believe that, or I feel like. So I came to the conclusion that and this is why I kind of love talking to other conspiracy theorists. I mean, I don't have too many people to talk to because not too many people are conspiracy theorists. But everybody says there's another civilization. I think all the people that claim to died are just living behind the wall because all of them know that, you know what I'm saying? They have to know. They're celebrities and this and that. They have communications with the government, so they most likely know, and that's where they get put, because any place else they'll probably get identified or something like that. But it could be another civilization, because I did come to that conclusion as well. But I want to hear what they say.
Today, I'm surrounded by 20 conspiracy theorists.
Hold on. Did you just? Hold on.
Jubilee, and today I am surrounded by 20 conspiracy theorists.
Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. What the fuck? Don't ever do that. Quotate, bitch. Oh, I would have been heated. The fuck? What do you mean? What are you talking about, nigga?
First thing I want to say to you guys is I'm not here to make anybody look or feel stupid at all. I'm not some kind of like expert debunker.
I mean, well, you quotation conspiracy theorist, so I mean, you kind of are. So off rip, you're already giving me a bad vibe. But we're gonna keep going. Out of respect, we're gonna keep going.
Has some thread of truth to it, so I'm hoping we can find some middle ground and become friends.
See, you being a journalist, does not mean you know anything. It means they will lie to you and tell you something that they want you to put. Like you are literally ran by the government, pretty much, just as much as fucking social media and all these shits are. So you even trying to make a valid point is bullshit to me. But we're gonna listen to you.
QAnon is a base.
But if you're an independent journalist, that's completely different, which I'm gonna assume that you are.
Conspiracy theory. There's no evidence of a global cabal of Satan worshipping, child trafficking elites that control everything.
Okay, hey, guess what, dumbass? Everything just came out with the Epstein files. So what the fuck do you have to say now? Like, genuinely, what do you have? It pisses me off because you say there's no evidence, motherfucker. They just released all the evidence. So are you gonna say you apologize for this, or are you just gonna be like, oh, it's brush it off? I hate when people just brush it off and actually not make a statement about it. You said this shit ain't true, so I mean, and you said there ain't no evidence, whole ass evidence right in front of your face. I already know you wrong. I know he about to be damn near wrong on everything he about to say. Everything. I guarantee you. I'm clicking that bitch soon as man. Not this nigga wearing the hat. That's funny.
Man. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Please prove this nigga wrong, bro.
A little quicker than I look.
He's stupid. It's okay.
My issue is with the claim in and of itself, right? The fact that QAnon may be baseless then means that there is no child trafficking ring going on. That's akin to saying that the Easter Bunny is not real, therefore there was no conspiracy to hide Biden mental decline.
Before we proceed, there's definitely horrible child sex trafficking rings that exist in the U.S.
Correct.
I just think that pedophilia is a pervasive problem among all crests of society.
Correct.
I just think that the rich have an easier time covering it up because they can pay for lawyers and they have money to keep people quiet.
That in and of itself is a conspiracy that you just described.
Well, then I'm a conspiracy theorist.
No, but that's real shit. But it is. I see what he's doing, and that's funny. Like, bro, these motherfuckers contradict themselves so much, it's not even funny, bro. It genuinely isn't even funny.
You know, I just don't think it's limited specifically to an unnamed anonymous class of baby eating elites.
Well, let's say the NG.
And it's proven now. So I mean, are we gonna go back and say it's not? Okay.
NGOs that are unnamed, right? We have humans being trafficked in migrant camps going all across Mexico. Somebody pays for that, whether it's NGOs.
Oh, it's worse in
whether it's the
Mexico,
UN.
probably.
Yeah.
I
We
wouldn't
have
believe it.
pedophile
I
rings
mean,
that we
I
know have
believe
been
it.
exposed throughout the Catholic Church. It's hard to get more elite than the Vatican. Right. Then you have people that are hiding, obviously, what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. So the idea that because we don't know who the tip of the spear is, or that the cobra hasn't shown its head, means that there's no cabal behind the scenes. Somebody is coordinating this.
There's more than
Now,
y'all
let me
could
put it this
ever
way.
explain
I wish that
or
there was
ever
as
know,
much
honestly.
scrutiny being applied.
Even all conspiracy theorists don't know all, because a lot of people don't understand. Once you get to a certain point, it's like you can only consume so much information to where you drive yourself insane, like genuinely, because you're just gonna look at bad, bro. Like when you keep looking at it, it's just bad on top of bad on top of bad on top of. You're like, fuck. Like what the fuck
To
is
the
this shit?
evidence
It's crazy.
that we have and that we've presented than there is to the conspiracy theorists that are presenting the evidence, right?
Definitely.
Like a conspiracy theorist to me is a derogatory claim for people that don't trust establishment narrative.
I literally said that conspiracy theorists are, and you know, theory is just a theory. No, it's a theory because people just don't believe it. It is y'all are fuck. And everybody says the government is so bad and this and the third, but y'all still believe the government about everything they fucking put out, and y'all still believe the media about everything they put out. And you expect me to believe you? Yeah, you fucking stupid.
Right? But the establishment has done everything they possibly can do to discredit themselves.
And I think that
I'm very unhinged. I'm just gonna give it to you straight up. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
establishment had a hand in creating QAnon. I think it's the sole biggest driving force and making all.
Careful, Andrew. That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
I'm just saying, it's like if you
Here's
think about
here's
this,
the thing.
right?
He's gonna say a lot of conspiracy theories, and he's gonna be right about a decent amount of them. Here's the thing. He's not a conspiracy. He's literally on a podcast right now trying to prove conspiracy theorists wrong while making conspiracy theories. I already know what kind of person this is.
We know with the Epstein
Literally.
stuff, there were underage sex trafficking rings that existed, right? Now think about this logical digression from that, and they're eating babies to get adrenochrome so they can be immortal.
So
think about how different
I
those
hear
things
you,
are.
and that's disproving the existence of one by continuing to. It's what we call searching for the falsehood, right? So something can't be true because 3 steps down the line something is untrue.
I think
that
the first
doesn't
thing
mean
is
the
true.
first thing is true.
Yeah.
We can agree that there are children being trafficked.
Yeah, I don't
We can
agree with the other thing
that
he
it
just said,
seems
though.
to be some sort of systemic industrialized
I don't know about that mortal
component
part.
to this child trafficking.
But it could
right?
be. I
Okay.
don't know though.
So then somebody has to pay for that. Somebody has to organize that.
Yeah.
Somebody with means, somebody that could be, I don't know, classified as an elite.
Yeah.
And that could be an elite child conspiracy, right? To traffic children.
Could be a cartel middleman.
Boom,
making a bunch of money.
boom,
And listen,
boom,
what I
boom.
would say is this. What people that trust establishment, not that you're one of them, what I wish that they understood is that we agree with them in that I hope I'm wrong.
Right.
Like the establishment
I
wants
hope I'm wrong every fucking day about all this shit, because that means we will have more good than bad in this world, and we definitely don't. Not even by. Fuck, I don't even know, bro.
me to be wrong, and I want me to be wrong.
I
don't want
swear,
there to be
I
children
want
being
me to be
trafficked.
wrong.
Right.
And I don't want our government, our taxpayers.
Because here's the
dollars
thing:
having-
if I'm not wrong, that means our children grow up bad. That means this country grows up bad. That means all countries grow up bad. And if I'm right, then well, if I'm right, that means all country. That's what I meant. But if I'm wrong, that means we're all good. I'd rather be wrong. I would rather be wrong. A lot of people don't understand that. For conspiracy theorists to be wrong about everything, bro, like I would love that. Hopefully it's not worse. But like I would like to be wrong.
anything to do with it. But I think that a conspiracy theorist used to be called an investigative journalist. We have questions, and I think that those questions deserve to be answered.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the issue here. When people say, no, there's no list, stop asking questions,
Nah,
move on.
exactly. When they try to like make it to where stop asking questions, no. What are we talking about? You're supposed to ask questions. You're supposed to know why that shit is happening. Why this and that the third. Like, no. The fuck?
well, then we feel like we should ask some more questions.
Yeah.
I feel like
What?
that's got to be less than 10% of the population who says there's no list. Let's move on.
Yeah, they
I think
haven't all been in
right
charge,
now
though.
is probably the first time where you see like leftists and conservatives coming together to demand accountability from the government.
No doubt about it.
And I think that QAnon was probably a psyop in of itself by Steve Bannon, Miles Kuo, a variety of strange actors that work with the Watkins family and 8chan to basically discredit people from actually putting the target where it should have been, which is right in front of our faces. The richest people in the world, most of them you can look their name up. Not saying there isn't people who are just
I didn't see
random rich financiers that are anonymous, but you can look at companies like BlackRock, Vanguard. You can look up online. We all have iPhones, right?
Yeah.
Apple, these major social media platforms have CEOs. The Saudis, the richest people in the world are operating in plain sight. And so I feel like when you aim the target at this unnamed, mysterious cabal of people eating babies in the hills, you're basically creating a thing that doesn't exist to convince people to look in the wrong
But
direction.
who is doing that, right?
I'm
Like
not
you
mad
said,
at
we can
that.
look up the richest people in the world, but we're everyday people.
Yeah.
We have jobs. We have things that we're supposed to be focusing on that are outside the realm of information finding. We don't have the time to go through
Yeah,
all of the different
facts.
NGOs
Yeah,
that
no.
these people have created
Yeah.
to hide themselves from this.
It's too much
This is the
because
job.
you got to realize a lot of these people in this kind of organization are literally made to keep conspiracy theorists down because they don't want us to know the truth. That's the whole point. Trust me, a lot of them are paid to keep this shit under the cover as much as possible. That's why they have blackmailing and all this stuff.
Job of journalists. This is the job of our media. Unfortunately, our media has been captured by these same elites that you're talking about. Not to bring up another conspiracy theory here, right? But this is what used to be the fourth estate, right? We used to be able to trust journalists to get to the bottom of it so that we, the plumber, didn't have to spend our weekends digging through tax files to be like, oh my God, did George Soros really get $270 million from USAID?
Yeah.
That's not what we planned on doing, right? This was your job. And now the conspiracy theory is anybody that doesn't trust the establishment narrative. They have made us distrust our neighbor and trust the government. They have made us look at each other from a veil of the citizen doesn't have privacy, but the government deserves privacy. This is a matter of national security.
Right.
Swear.
Well, it's a matter of national security that we can't know who was selling children.
Yeah.
Then I think
Man.
they've answered the question.
I think
Man.
I think the Epstein thing is probably like the biggest potential breakthrough into dismantling some of those blackmail
Yes,
networks that have kept so
yes.
much of the media and government compliant. But the
Yes.
thing is, whenever people stop trusting the mainstream narrative, which overall I think is a good thing, it makes way for an entire vacuum.
Give me real quick. Sorry to cut you off. Which is a good thing? Distrusting the mainstream narrative or trusting
when
it?
people stop trusting the mainstream narrative and do their own research, generally that's a good thing. However, that creates a vacuum where people who are even less reliable can fill the void with just different stuff.
But that's okay though, because information is cleansing. Sunlight is cleansing. But
Facts.
the best part about the conspiracy community, and I didn't start as a conspiracy theorist. I'm a
Facts.
a guy that trusts
Normal?
the government.
Yeah,
USA, baby.
literally. Facts.
But as you pull at these threads, you start realizing the government has lied to us over and over.
For
and
so many
over
years, it's
again.
not even funny.
Yeah.
Damn it. Hey, I love this. I love hearing it. That was a good kind of little debate. They continue
How you
to
doing?
come
Well,
up.
thank you.
Andrew, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Thanks
Courtney.
for coming. Thanks, Courtney.
You. I wanted to start with saying I think we agree partway.
Yeah, totally.
I actually think he was totally a psyop. But I would say that the part about there not being an elite trafficking cabal who are Satan worshiping, I actually think there's a lot of evidence for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of
any
evidence
kind
for
of
that.
a psyop, typically there's an element of truth. Would you agree
I'm not gonna say it.
with that?
Yes.
I'm not gonna say it on camera.
Right, because otherwise it wouldn't work.
Right.
So have you heard of Project Monarch?
No, can you fill me in?
Sure. So Project Monarch was a subset of MK Ultra. You're familiar with MK,
MK
Ultra?
Ultra.
We're talking about 1960s counterintelligence programs.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which actually, so the whole term conspiracy theory,
Yeah.
right, was kind of weaponized, right? By,
Yeah, MK Ultra,
Man!
MK Ultra, COINTELPRO,
But hold
all
on.
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the term conspiracy theory, I also think like that was weaponized by the CIA.
Absolutely.
Heavy,
Document
heavy,
Once you
113.
slap
heavy.
that on somebody, everything they've said is discredited.
Yeah. Where do you think that began?
Probably around the 60s and 70s, similar to slapping the label communist on somebody during the McCarthy
With
Red Scare.
McCarthy, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a document. It was 1035-960. It was to counter the Warren Commission.
He's
They
not
want
as-
people
he's not as
investigating
bad as
into
I thought.
JFK's assassination. So that's kind of where the CIA they slapped them with the label conspiracy theorist.
Of course.
So Okay, so Project Monarch was a subset of MK Ultra, and in MK Ultra, you're familiar with. There was I mean, we have just the declassified documents, so there's a lot more we don't know.
Yeah.
But we do know that there were horrific things done where they were using trauma-based mind control. So MK Monarch was the subset, and Monarch was where they believed that intergenerational trauma would lead to people who are much more susceptible to being programmed.
So you believe in epigenetics?
I do believe in epigenetics.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah. So have you heard of Kathy O'Brien? She is a victim of Project Monarch, and she talks about she and her daughter were trafficked. So she's one example. I've actually interviewed over 11, and I know that's a small population, but there are people who have interviewed way more than I have who have been satanic ritually abused. And it was all by politicians, big Hollywood celebrities, and then, of course, we have like Epstein. So what would you say about people who have these stories and they all seem to have shared kind of themes, similar people involved with them?
I think that you can find anecdotal evidence of ritual abuse happening in all layers of society. I also think a lot of this stuff's like lifted from Hollywood. Like, for example, Eyes Wide Shut. Everyone has that sort of in the back of their head when they think about satanic ritual abuse. I'm sure that it happens, but I want to differentiate too, because when it comes to Satan worship, I know I probably, this might not be the most charitable group when it comes to Satanism, but there's LaVeyan Satanism, and then there's Church of Satan. And Church of Satan is very much like atheists who are doing it to make a point. And then I think the ritualized stuff connects to like pagans and sort of like old wealth worship and stuff. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I mean, I haven't looked into it too much because maybe I'm a victim of kind of writing people off when they start talking about satanic Hollywood Hills baby eating parties. I just always think they read it on someone's Facebook account.
You can take a narrative really far, which
I understand that.
Kind of discredits the whole thing, right? So just because they may say things that are kind of...
Hey,
time that quick? Damn. That's too quick. Man, I'm trying to hear people talk about it, man. I know she was ready to get to talking, too.
Hey, how's it going, man?
I feel like I've seen him before, though.
Good to meet you. I don't know what
Is
it
he
is,
an
but I can
actor?
tell you know stuff.
If he is,
Maybe it's the
we're gonna have a
presentation,
problem, 'cause I
the
feel like
haircut,
I've seen
I feel
him
like you're about to
before.
drop some serious statistics on me right now, and I hope I'm prepared.
Absolutely am. So, I'm going to ask you some questions just to make sure we agree on the facts. Yeah?
Okay.
You agree that Jeffrey Epstein was a child trafficker.
Yes.
You agree that there were elites who were at his island, on the airplane with him, at his parties, around the time where children were being trafficked.
Yes.
You also agree that the elites can't investigate the elites and find something wrong, because if we're asking the people who are on the island to investigate who is...
Basically, what he's just beating around that damn bush. It's so hard. Basically, elites can't fucking investigate elites because they're the ones doing it.
implicated in this, they're not going to give us a correct answer.
Not to mention, if you're a journalist and you try to report about it transparently, you can get harassed and bullied. But I interviewed Hunter Biden recently, right? And he suggested, because Jeffrey Epstein said this multiple times, that he introduced Melania to Donald Trump. Now, I got a legal demand letter with my name on it a couple days ago saying that we were going to be sued for $1 billion by the First Lady if we didn't retract that and issue a formal apology. So evidently, there are different lawyers that are going to pressure people into repressing the truth. I also think that the social media platforms are trying to get children addicted to like dopamine rush content, whether it be like semi-pornographic stuff. Like I was watching a music video the other day on my nephew's iPad because he's like 12, and I was like, damn, were videos always this like sickeningly perverted? Then I thought about Flo Rida, and I realized, yes, and we were actually like we were like one of the first generations to experience that.
Yeah.
The elites trafficking children is not a baseless conspiracy theory. It's a reasonable suspicion.
Well, there are elites who traffic children. I just don't think it's everybody with money and everybody with success.
It's not everybody.
It's not,
but
yeah, it's
enough
not
to
everybody.
shape culture and
Yeah.
policy.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
I also think that many people who were on the island were kind of there, like, you know, they were basically there as part of a honeypot operation.
Absolutely.
And they didn't go there knowingly trying to procure underage children. Not saying it's normal to be on Epstein Island, but I'm saying there was a lot of other things there, extravagant foods, performers, services. I heard Chris Rock was doing stand-up for people at like a 5-person dinner table. So you're thinking, I'm at the place right now. I'm seeing all these trusted icons of media. At the end of the night, you end up with someone you realize after the fact is underage. They've got the video. Now you do what they say.
So that would mean that we are ruled by elites who are child traffickers, right?
Yeah.
Or at least we're ruled by people who are blackmailing elites who are child traffickers.
Yeah, I think that
There
at
you
the highest
go.
levels
He
of
actually
power,
got it.
especially in this country, you have a tendency toward
Yeah,
exploitation.
and I
guess
feel like
power
it's. I
tripping
feel
for-
like the whole thing is gonna lead us to forgiving the people that were blackmailed, and I feel like it might come a time where we have to forgive them, but we cannot forget that, because if we do, then you know. But here's the thing: if we do forgive them for that, we cannot let them be empowered ever again. if we do forgive them for it, we can never ever ever let them touch a single ounce of power ever. And they have to have a normal job like the working class. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was nice speaking to you, man. Thank you.
This is a good one though. Hey, I mean everybody's honestly spitting pretty decent. I can't wait for the next topic.
Andrew, great to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet you. So I just wanted to say the whole like Pizzagate thing, it stems from actually
Why did you just bring up Pizzagate for? Oh yeah, because of that. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, when you go, yeah, oh shit, okay.
like the
I don't know if you wanna get into
abbreviation CP,
Pizzagate.
right?
I know that Hillary Clinton was emailing people asking
Yeah.
for cheese pizza, and people thought it meant child porn.
Yeah.
Right. So, but like in the like pedophile community, like the term CP stands for child porn.
Yeah.
So like.
Oh, yeah, and for
Yeah,
their
and
community,
so
but
the
for all of
cheese-
us, it just means cheese pizza.
Right. Exactly. But so
And
my
she's not all of us, Nick. Shit.
thing
fucking
with
tired.
the Comet Ping Pong, there was a lot of pictures at
You know,
Comet-
and that's the thing, and that's what I feel like a lot of normies-ish people get it confused, is that they try to think of elites and stuff like us. They're not like us, because if they were like us, none of this would be happening. They're not like us. They not like us. They not like excuse me. Subliminal messaging is just insane, by the way.
ping pong that were really weird, like putting children in super strange scenarios. Like
Oh, y'all
very
found out real soon
strange
about Drake.
art to have at a pizza wall, and I think that it got misinterpreted. It's not necessarily that
Bro,
they were, like,
no. I've seen him.
children in the establishment.
I've
I
seen,
think they
bro.
were trying to say this guy is a pedophile and he could potentially be involved in trafficking kids, not necessarily at that location.
One thing I wanted to ask you about is what is the connection between Satanism and pedophilia? Because I went to a Church of Satan gathering, and they didn't really give off pedo vibes. It was more like heavy
Yeah.
metal punk rockers
No,
who just
totally.
like
Yeah, and that's the whole point of it, bro.
hate their parents' religion.
Yes,
No,
that's the whole point of
100%.
it.
I think it stems from like innocence being impurified, and I think that's like what the devil, if you get into religion, that's the whole point of the devil, is to
Oh,
impurify the
you don't want to get
innocence, right? So,
when
like,
we're talking to conspiracy theorists, we don't want to get into religion. If I get into religion, it's gonna be hell for every religion. I promise you. Y'all gonna be mad at this shit. I'm gonna say to y'all, like I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
human beings weren't created to
That's
like
why I
live
don't
in
believe in no damn religion.
controversy and chaos
believe in certain
and pain
things,
all
though.
the time. Like we weren't intended to live that way, but
I
the
believe in
devil
God,
has
sure.
like infiltrated our lives, and like because of sin.
Because like the more you look at it as a conspiracy theorist, you look at so much evil, and there really can't be this much evil without there being good. Like all of us have cars, all of us are able to come home to our families, and that's the good a lot of people just overlook in society. Like they don't realize that because they never question it or anything like that.
now we're all in pain. So like I think that's kind of the root of it, is like when you worship the devil, you want to perpetuate his goal, which is to bring more people into what the devil wants for the world, which is the opposite of what God would want.
I guess it's confusing because there seems to be more of a connection between the Catholic Church and pedophilia than Satan.
I would agree
and
that there's a
pedophilia.
lot of that. I think it's
I'm gonna be
not
quiet.
every church is necessarily godly. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with like Church of Satan, Christian churches.
I don't think she knows. I don't think she knows. The information about churches that I know, I do not think she knows.
Catholic churches, like I think it's just a part of being godly. Isn't saying like I believe in God. It's
I'm
like doing
gonna
the
say
right
this real quick too. Everything is to push an agenda. They're not giving it to you just to satisfy you. Sometimes it is for happiness, and it's sometimes to keep you in that system. But most of the time, they're doing it to push their agenda.
thing all of the time.
Yeah.
So like you could say I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic, and
For
then
sure.
if you touch kids, like you're not godly either way.
So for you, like Christianity means like acts of service, like living in kindness, helping your family.
Yeah, like just trying to benefit society, be a better person, be a good example for other people. And the other thing I would say too is like if there's not prevalent Satanism in the mainstream media, why does everyone start off super innocent and then like start dressing like Satan? Is that not a form of
it's
worship?
cool with the kids. I mean, if you
Facts.
go back to Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden, it was a way of kind of protesting the strict religious households. Hey, that was great though. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
And he's not wrong though. What he was about to say, like strict religious house. He's not wrong, like, because that's why kids dress out and dress in the most evil, crazy shit because of strict parents. So he's got a good point there. I'm not saying that he's wrong about that, but who do you think created that system for that? This goes so much deeper than you could ever imagine, and whatever I imagine. Trust me, this goes so much deeper. That's why nobody can truly find the whole truth about anything because it's so deep. It's not even funny. It genuinely isn't.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to Straight Arrow News for powering the fact.
It's okay. Yeah, that's nice, bro.
Get the news. Welcome back to Trustworthy Journalism.
Yeah, I got you.
Thanks again to Straight Arrow News for partnering with us on this episode.
Hope
Now,
y'all enjoying it.
let's get into
Like, subscribe.
All right,
Subscribe.
my next claim is that 9/11 was not an inside job. It was.
I'm gonna. Literally, it was proven. It literally was fucking proven. I'm going to scream. I'm going to fucking scream. He did not just say it was not an inside job. There's no fucking way. There is actually no way. And you're not wrong. It was coordinated terrorist attack by Al Qaeda. You're not wrong. I wish I could say it, but I could probably get killed for this. So I'm not going to, but I'm going to say you're wrong.
Was a coordinated terrorist attack by the group Al Qaeda.
Oh, every conspiracy theorist wants to get up, but they don't want to get up because they know. Like saying shit like this can really put you in a heap of trouble because exposing truths like this means like that some things conspiracy theorists can talk about, and some stuff is a no-no on camera. Some stuff is a no-no because you know the backlash and you know the consequences that they could potentially or whatever the fuck the word is do. So it's like you got to be careful. You got to pick your poison, what you want to talk about. And this is one of them hush topics. I mean, the child whatever stuff, okay. You know, I mean, is it bad? Yes, but they only show you what they want to show you, which is why the whole stuff is coming out. Y'all need to be careful about what you about to talk about right now. Y'all better be careful. And I'm gonna pray for y'all. I just muted my mic, and I'm gonna keep y'all in mind, cause this is gonna be crazy.
Hey man, how's it going?
I'm bud.
Andrew, great to meet you.
Craig, but they call me Pasta.
Hell yeah, why do they call you Pasta?
Creepy pasta. Say creepy pasta.
You know, my Italian grandma used to make me take pasta to
Okay,
school.
I'm about to say he made.
Yeah,
this
no,
ain't the
your
nigga
grandma,
behind
man.
creepy pasta. Ain't no way.
Okay, so starting off this discussion, I think we would both agree that fact that we won't know 100% whether it was an isolated issue by Al Qaeda and the little ragtag team versus an actual government conspiracy right now, because we're not privy to all the information, all the texts, right. So we would agree on that, but we would probably also agree the fact that the United States government and the intelligence apparatus has always funded for a long time what you guys in the media call radical jihadist groups, right?
Yeah,
From the Mujahideen.
He's saying that he's saying what I was going to say. He's about to say it. I'm scared. I damn near don't even want to listen to it.
To even down in Latin America, to the opposition to the Sandinistas, the Contras and whatnot.
But he's saying it's smooth to where
So
it's
it's
like
not far-fetched to
only
think that
only
there's some
conspiracy
type of
theorists can damn near
coordination
detect
between
it.
the intelligence or the government apparatus and the military, between the actual hijackers and what actually took place, correct?
Here's my thing. I don't want to come off like an Osama bin Laden apologist. That's not something you want to be in your life. That's
Gotcha.
that's a worse label than conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
That's
But
crazy.
To suggest that 9/11 was fully an inside job also implies that there would be no reason for some people out there to be upset about the things that the U.S. was doing. If you believe that Osama bin Laden's letter to the U.S. is real, it cites a few things specifically. It says keeping our military bases in the Arabian Peninsula after the Gulf War. It says our military support of Israel and a few other things. Now, those are all real things.
Yes.
You know, our puppet states and dictators that we installed in the Middle East, that stuff is real. That's enough to create a vacuum where a bunch of really angry people decide to do something like 9/11. And before TSA, it wouldn't have been that hard. You and me could do it.
Yeah, well, logically, what you're saying makes true, but both things can be true. Both a lot of people in the Middle East, Osama bin Laden, his family, his cohorts can hate us, but also too it could be an inside job because, like we said, we've already established that the Mujahideen, Al Qaeda, we've been funding them. So, and you weren't involved in media when 9/11 happened, right?
No, I was actually 3.5 years old. I was near where Flight 93 crashed in Western Pennsylvania. So we thought there was planes hitting everywhere.
Yeah. So you went back, kind of did your research, and you formed your opinion now too as well. Right?
Definitely. Yeah.
So the first part I would point out, and I'd say go back and look at. There's three main reasons why I believe it was definitely a government conspiracy. Number one is the actual connections between the hijackers themselves, and military intelligence, as well as the government, right? I think a week after, and we're talking about mainstream outlets now reporting on this, Newsweek, I think less than a week after, reported that 5 of the hijackers actually received training in secure U.S. bases. As we started looking at this other stuff and unfolding, we even saw that certain hijackers actually listed naval bases as their address on their driver's license and on their registrations for their
That's
cars.
crazy. I wouldn't get
that we see,
into
it's
that.
very easy to believe,
That's crazy.
from the jump, that we see all these connections. We see that they're being funded. They were also funded backdoor from military assets of the United States to Pakistan. By looking at that alone, wouldn't that be a little convincing to say, well, wow, there's all this funding, there's all this financing.
Bro, I truly feel like people just choose not to believe it just to keep their sanity.
Something there.
But if you were to go back to the source of the funding, I don't want to botch pronunciation, but Mujahideen, is that how you say it?
Mujahideen.
So that was Osama was a big factor in that whole group. That was a group that we funded to fight the Soviets in Afghanistan.
Yes.
At some point, maybe a decade or two later, they began using all the guns that we gave them.
We're
to
only
perpetrate
21 minutes in.
attacks at U.S. embassies and at U.S. bases in Africa and the Middle East.
We also know that they didn't stop funding these radical groups in Syria. We had the Pentagon, we had the CIA, all these different groups still funding them to this day. So in other words, there's no evidence that they ever stopped, right? So we understand that there's a relationship between them. The second point of evidence I would also bring up is the whistleblowers and the ex-military intelligence people who were also shut down, gagged, not allowed to speak. I mean, John O'Neill, I don't want to start throwing names out there, but that's one guy who comes to mind who actually died in the World Trade Center because his new job was head of security at the World Trade Center. Well, he was the head of counterintelligence.
Actually, conspiracy theorists are more protected now. Low key.
He quit because he stated every single time we get close to the funding, whatnot,
I'm about to say some shit.
Organization shuts us down. The CIA, the FBI, they shut us down. So you have all these whistleblowers who say, no, the there is there. We knew Muhammad Atta, right? One of the hijackers was in the United States a year beforehand.
Well, he received flight training in Florida, right?
Yes.
Or I think it was also in Germany. I think there's a big difference between the U.S. government knowingly kind of laxing up security in the lead up to 9/11 because they felt like they needed the public to get on board with their military operations in the Middle East, and they wanted to pass things like the Patriot Act to increase surveillance on citizens. There's a big difference between that and actually doing it.
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like a little contradictory because you're saying all this stuff is definitely happening.
You see what I'm saying?
I want to talk about the third part.
We'll talk more about it after. Thank you, bro.
And that's the thing about conspiracy theories. We love talking about this. So us having a timer is like fuck, because I really want to explain everything to you, and I can't.
Yo, and Andrew, good to meet you. I didn't even see you behind me the whole time.
He's probably on this video, and I seen him a long time ago. But bro, I feel like he's from somewhere, bro. Can somebody put that in the comments down below? Like he's from somewhere, and I cannot remember where.
Thank you. I like the hair.
Thanks. So, one of the things that I think is kind of missing.
Do you see what bro's wearing? Do you see what bro's wearing? Are we fucking dead ass? All right. Alrighty. I'm just gonna skip over it.
Discussion. Is that, yes, the idea that it was a complete internal conspiracy, that the government completely planned, completely executed, all of that kind of stuff, doesn't really make a lot of sense when you look at the how many people can keep a secret type stuff. However, I think that whenever you look at the intelligence apparatus that was happening before 9/11 happened, both directly and after the terrorist attack done by Osama bin Laden in 1993.
In Tanzania?
No, in New York.
Oh, in the basement?
In the basement of the World Trade Center. Yeah. After all of the Afghan war stuff, where we're basically paying Osama bin Laden to be our guy in that area. And then after...
You know what surprises me? Nobody brought up the bombs. Nobody has brought up the bombs yet. And I am Shocked. Nobody has brought up the bombs or the Pentagon. Kind of crazy. Kind of fucking crazy.
After he was completely abandoned by
Yeah,
his handlers.
for conspiracy theorists to not bring this up, this kind of giving me little staged-ish kind of vibes, because I'm gonna still, I'm still taking it, I'm still listening to what they gotta say, but I'm still, just weird.
America did all of the things that it does to piss everybody else off in the world.
Yeah.
And the government at that time was looking to put in a lot of surveillance stuff. We all know about the Patriot Act.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how quickly it passed. So to my mind, there doesn't need to be a grand conspiracy of 1,000 people, 150 people, or anything like that. There just needs to be about 50 that have a vested interest in allowing something to happen that will change the minds of the American people to allow them to be surveilled and to be completely and totally controlled.
Yeah. James, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I think that 9/11 achieved almost all of the goals of the Bush dynasty, which is territorial control over the Middle Eastern resource pool, specifically oil, oil family. And then they needed something so extreme and spectacular and traumatizing collectively that the American people would be like, where are you going? Like, Iraq? Is Osama there?
Why are we
no.
gonna go there?
It's like,
Yeah.
well, can get them. Whoever's out there.
Exactly.
And I remember that time period and wondering why we were invading Iraq. I still remember how they would obscure the messaging of why people had, negative feelings about us. Like, I remember asking my mom and dad, I was like, why did Osama attack the World Trade Center? And there was like, some people hate that we can go to the mall and the baseball game, and they hate Jesus.
That is exactly what I grew up in. So
Yeah.
I
That's
definitely
insane.
know that. But
The fact that anybody would ever...
Hey, James, appreciate you.
Bro, nigga, bro, that shit felt like 2 minutes, bro. Give them more time to talk. Like, bro, they're literally sitting down and getting right back up in less than 2 minutes. Like, bro, like, let the whole clock run out. At least, make it 20 minutes per, QA, whatever. 20 minutes per question. And then I'd say give them at least 5 minutes, 7 to 10 if it's interesting. I feel like that's just a fair way. And then because it's an hour already, so I'm pretty sure everybody done run around twice. Because we're not even at 30 minutes, we're not even at half, and everybody's been up almost, except for about probably 3 or 4 people, probably 5. Because somebody's about to be up right now. So
What's up, bro?
it might be some
How you
people.
doing, dog?
So
Hey,
yeah.
thank you, bro. I like it.
Okay, my name's Luna.
Luna, before we go,
Yeah,
does
what's
the
up?
tinfoil hat have any actual purpose, or is it more
Yes.
just like for swag purposes?
That's swag,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
No, it
my
is
God,
swag.
man.
Hey, nah. But the fact that people say that, the fact that people like think like that shit is crazy beyond me. But I think those are people that believe in like aliens and all this stuff, bro. Trust me, nah, bro. I feel like, but I think conspiracy theorists also make that as a trick for like y'all are
Just to let
crazy.
you know.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
But it's a pleasure meeting you.
You too,
The
man.
real
I had thought
shit-
about your prompt and
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
like thinking,
Yeah, I
that's
know,
pretty
bro.
messed up if the government would do this as an inside job. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that their lives are lost and continue to be lost because of all the debris,
Mm-hmm.
the cancer, the trauma, and it's something I don't want to undermine either. This
Yeah.
is very devastating.
Definitely.
The thing that James mentioned that was really good. You guys talked about the Patriot Act. I'm a product of the Patriot Act. I lived a life of crime, drugs, and lo and behold, I live in LA, so lo and behold, when the counties got full, the feds picked up the pace, and so they made these little private prisons, and how they were able to fill this is, I guess, this is how they used the Patriot Act. They started tapping wiretaps without
no warrant.
no warrant at all.
Got you.
So I was like on my indictment, I was like number 23. I was on the low totem pole, but there was 31. Mine was for ghost dope that didn't exist, but it was just the conversation of the dope. But because I had a past, it stuck. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up, and I'm not against it, I thank God that happened to me because God used all that
Character
to
development.
utilize me to get clean,
Literally,
to change
yeah.
my life around.
Yeah.
I took advantage of it.
For real.
Now as an adult and a new father and a new husband, I'm a little concerned of the policing of the surveillance of the state. And I feel like I think brother said it really well though, it's like since the 9/11, it was kind of like let's If it happens, it happens.
Well, especially now with the Palantir stuff, like the surveillance state is just escalating, and the way they're aggregating our data and spying on us basically through our consumption habits and media,
Data
we're going to see a whole new level of surveillance.
And we're getting this
Everybody ready to
information
get up. That's
far
crazy.
later than when it actually has already been taking place or created, right?
Yeah, that's the craziest part about anytime you hear about something in the news like related to surveillance, it's like it's already happening. You don't hear about it when they're making the blueprint.
Exactly. So my just whole goal to you is just always go with an open mind and always dig. And I know it's very dangerous to dig in some certain areas because corporations are corporations and people are bought with whatever people are bought.
What I feel like they should do as well is they should pick out 4 people who have the strongest opinion about this question, about this topic, and just have them go up instead of everybody else that just like him. He just went up and just said nothing damn near. I mean, he said something, but you know what I'm saying? He ain't say shit. Like, it wasn't no conspiracy theories, nothing. He just said his life. Like, that's not shit. But like actually saying the conspiracy theory, then you're getting to an actual conspiracy theory, the whole point of this shit. So, yeah.
Hey,
So I appreciate you.
Show you too, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming, dog.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got 3 minutes
What's
left
going on,
anyway.
man?
He ain't been up
How you
yet,
doing?
so
Thank you.
let
Appreciate
a
it.
man
Thanks for
get
coming.
up. We about to. I think.
start things that
I
make
think.
sense.
I think after this 3 minutes, we're gonna cut it. After this 3 minutes, we're gonna cut it, and then we'll make a separate video later on in the week. Later on, either this week or next week, we'll make another video for the other half of this, pretty much.
There was talk about the pilots. We were talking about guys that had very little experience, and it was documented that I believe the pilot for the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania was believed. I'm sorry, the plane that crashed that hit the second tower supposedly was one of the weakest pilots, affirmed by his flight instructor. My question is, to pull off the maneuver they suggested to hit that tower, there are accounts from actual airline pilots and very experienced pilots that said they couldn't make that maneuver. What do you say to that?
Well, what would the alternative be? That it would they had a professional, amazing pilot in there, and there was no hijackers.
It's not that that's an alternative, but it's like let's compare it to sports. There are some people that are equipped because of their
Does it say
experience
tell the truth?
and
Am I tripping?
repetition that they can do things that others can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think it
So
does tell the
especially
truth.
you're talking about
Yeah.
it's a skill. Flying a plane is a skill. So you're to be accurate enough to hit that tower where it needed to be, to destroy it in a manner of which it was destroyed. There are pilots that are skilled enough that said that they probably could not have done that. So are we
Thank you for
talking
actually
about
bringing this shit
a
up.
one-off, an anomaly with someone who is much less skilled than they are?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't look that hard to me. I'm not an expert pilot, nor am I an experienced hijacker. But I mean, it's not like he had to land the plane.
He
Yeah,
didn't have to land a plane. Seems
it's
to us
not. He's not bringing up what I thought he was gonna bring up. It's not, bro. You're making us look bad for right now. But I'm gonna keep listening to you.
to hit an object, right?
Yeah.
But in order for it to get the result that it got, right? That's first thing to make sure.
Yes,
Second
yes.
thing, I
For us to get the result, like the outcome it was, I'm not trying to get my chance thinking now.
Remember that day.
I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah.
I walked out right after the first plane, and I recall an explosion in the second tower. Subsequently, in recent years, like you said, there's footage and firsthand account of witnesses that say that they heard an explosion, a demolition-style explosion. You've heard this from firefighters.
Here
that
we
were in
go. Now
buildings
we're talking.
Or surrounding those buildings. You heard this from witnesses.
Now
that were
we
right in them buildings,
talking.
and you heard
He-
this from.
I think they're
people that
afraid.
were actually in
I
the
really
towers.
think they're afraid
How
to
do you
actually
explain
say
it?
this.
I mean,
And I think
from
he
what-
actually
I'm not
said
an
it.
expert on building mechanics, but from what it looks like, you had an uncontrolled fire that was raging on the middle floors of multiple buildings for hours.
Okay.
And I could imagine that there was also jet fuel that was causing combustion to occur. I mean, it's a building. There's a bunch of stuff in there. There's gas, water heaters, all types of reasons why something might explode.
Neither one of us are
Understandable.
architects, right? The industry I work in, I've seen these beams that are used to build high rises. So you're telling me that just from an explosion from jet fuel and this combination, which has also been, I would say, debunked by others that are experts in not only chemicals and science, which I'm not, I'm taking from them, which they're saying is that this is virtually impossible for buildings
Why
to
am I
collapse
stopped
in
at
that
3?
way.
Am I maxed out right now?